Champion of what?
A champion of what?
I can drop a world lead, I don't even like running. You gotta run fast just to go and get some money. I'm Noah Lyles K, you know how I'm coming. I ain't going to no Olympics, I ain't running, I ain't jumping. I can make 100,000 at the crib being funny.
So I received a lot of tags, a lot of comments, and even some DMs. A lot of people hit me. I was like, bro, have you seen the Australian guy? Kennedy just ran a 10:03 100. And before I even watched the race, I knew it was fake. But let me break it down before y'all call me a hater. So before I even start, I want to let y'all know that, because I see a lot of people say, why you always hating on Kennedy, blah, blah, blah. I'm never hating on bro. I don't have nothing against bro. I want to see him do good. But the eye test shows me that he's uncoordinated. He's incapable of running 9 seconds. And he gets these strong wins, run these mediocre times. And y'all celebrate bro like he's the greatest thing since Usain Bolt, when he can't even win a U20 championships. But that's neither here nor there. This is the meet that he ran, the Perth Track Classic in West Australia on March 1st. Now, if you take a look at this list, you will realize that this race just simply doesn't make sense. They said bro ran a 10:03 in 100. Mind you, 10:03 is the third fastest time in Australian history, which will indicate people in Australia aren't even running anywhere near this time, let alone a heat full of road random people in Australia. If he ran 10:03 against Australians, it should look like he ran 9:6. The separation should be crazy. I realize this. Every race that he runs, there's no separation. These guys are running him to the line, but these are some all-time marks. But how is everybody in these heats dropping all-time marks? And it made sense, so I did some more research. See, one thing about me, I'm not just going to spew nonsense just to talk. And if you say I'm hating after this video, you just coping at this point. Because check this out. This is when he crossed the line and walked back. Look at how hard his hair is blowing. I've ran in 1.1s and even 3.1s. That's about a 3-point-something win, maybe a 4. One thing I wanted to do was make it make sense. So I went to check the weather forecast for that day to check the temperature and the wind speed for the time that he ran. Meet schedule indicates that he ran at 5:28 p.m. And if you look, there's 100-meter races, and they're all 8 minutes apart. And then post 100, they have some 200-meter races about an hour later. So multiple 100-meter races, multiple 200-meter races. So if we take a look at each individual race, they had their first 100 meters was the women, 2.5 tailwind. So it was an illegal win. It was wind dated. Cool. The next race that they ran was a men's race. 8 minutes later, 3.0 tailwind. So far, the wind readings from the weather report is matching up with the wind readings here at the track meet. These guys ran 10.4s and 10.6s, wind dated, 3.0 winds. And then after that was the women's final. 3.0 tailwinds. And 8 minutes later, the men's 100 final. 1.1 win. But everybody in this race ran a personal best or a season's best. Mind you, every race up to this point has been illegal. Like way illegal. Not just a 2.1, 2.2. It's been 3 points and even more. And then that made me go to the 200s. 200 women final. Oh, wait. Illegal win, 4.0 win. So as you see, the later it gets, the stronger the wind is. Let's go to the men's 200 final. Oh, 3.8 win. 3.8 win. So every race, 100 and 200, was illegal this day, except this one, mysteriously. Why is that? And I said that this guy will never run 9 seconds. And I mean that. And after he ran this race, hella people were tagging me. I thought you said he wasn't going to run 9 as if he ran 9. And even if he does run 9, it will be under these conditions. Mysterious 9-second, every heat before and after will be windy, and somehow his won't be windy. Just like when Gout ran his PRs. And I'm going to call it out and bring up the facts and evidence. And y'all going to say I'm a hater. But after this race, he said, I know I can run faster if I can nail that start. And if I can just do that with the last 40 meters I just ran here, we're cooking. But in reality, he isn't cooking. Because what do he mean nail his start? All he's good for is a start. In the last 40 meters, it felt different than every other race he ran, including the 10-3 he ran this year, because the wind blew you the last 40. That's why it felt different and felt much easier. And it's sad for me to even see Australia attempt to crash this young brother out, because every time they get a guy running 10-3, 10-2, they gas him up to be the next white hope and they crash out. But he's a young guy, 21, 22 years old. I mean, he'll never run 9 seconds because they never do. But I think he can remain competitive inside of Australia, outside of Australia. He's a Texas high schooler.
There's our boy, though, Matt Shervington, the golden boy of Australian sprinting.
Only 19 years of age. If you had told him, I'm sure, 12 months ago that he would have been lining up, having qualified 4th for the final at the Commonwealth Games, he would have laughed at you.
And what a night it's been for Australia, with Kate Anderson winning the 5,000 metres and then a sensational performance from Tanya Van Heer. Here's Shervington in isolation. Let's look at him. He got the perfect start, Jane, and he is away. He looks a bit ragged, but it doesn't matter because he scoots down the track the fastest we've ever seen from an Australian.
I tell you, once he gets up and running, he looks very, very good technically. I've seen him train a lot at Sydney Athletic Field with Michael Kamel, and they work on technique, and you can tell that it's come through there. I tell you, this was a fantastic test of Shervington's medal.
I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it.
I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it.
I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. He will be in the 100-metre final in Sydney, and we'll have a white man from Australia in the 100-metre final for the first time since I can't remember.
And I agree with you. You've got to understand that male sprinters start to mature in their mid-20s and go all the way through to their mid-30s.
Heck Hogan was the last one, Phil May tells me, who was 3rd in the 100 metres in 56. Thanks, Phil. And Matt Shervington, we're going to put pressure on him over the next 2 or 3 years, but unbelievable.
So the things that Australia are attempting to do now have been done 20, 30 years prior. They had their next great hope with Matt Shervington. A few years later, they had Patrick Johnson come and destroy Shervington's record, run 9:93. But despite running 9:93 and having an Australian national record, Shervington qualified for 2 Olympic Games, only 1 in the open races, and 3 world championships. And in the Olympics, the fastest he ever ran in 100 is 10:31, which is embarrassing. That's why I said Lachlan Kennedy will go to the World Championships this summer and run 10:3, 10:2, maybe even 10:4. And for the World Championships, the fastest he's ever ran after qualifying for 3 World Championships is only 10:20, despite running multiple 10-0s, running multiple 10-1s, even ran a 9:93. So I think we should stop putting hype into these guys because we see their history. We see the type of things that they're made of, and they just don't have what it takes. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, Australia just never had good sprinters before. Now we have good sprinters, but 25, 30 years ago, they had sprinters way better. Sprinters that were actually making finals at championships. When Matt Shervington ran his 10:03, he was in the Commonwealth Game finals along the side of guys like Otto Bowden and Frankie Fredericks and people of that nature. So these guys are pathetic. They run in times that's been ran 30 years ago in actual championships, but at home, windy, and being celebrated like they're the next Usain Bolt. So people can say I'm a hater. People can say I don't like these guys. People can say I don't want to see these guys do good. But at the end of the day, people can't call me a liar. There hasn't been a single lie told from me in this video nor any other video. The truth just doesn't care about your feelings. I don't have nothing against Lachlan Kennedy. I think bro might be a cool person. I don't have nothing against Gout. I think the kid has a lot of talent. But just going based off the history of their country, I have to slow my roll and stop everybody else from jumping the gun because they have a long history of being failures. And that's just the bottom line.